So I bet a lot of you know that Justin over at OCD4EDC makes these little kits. Oh, hey, there's a piece of candy in there. Makes these little kits. This is a CME, or compression made easy. And now I have got a Spyderco Para 2 that has got the compression lock, and I do agree that it needs something else. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna install this CME on here. So we're gonna open this up and see what all's in it and install it. So let's get into that. All right, Zotz is one of my favorite candies, so I had to eat the candy first. We're going to install this. Now, Justin has a video on his website that shows exactly how to do this. I have not opened this yet. So everything, from what I understand, everything that I need to install this is in this bag. Why is this such a pain in the ass to get open? There we go, just tear it open. So alcohol wipes. There is small bag, a small little thing of super glue and sticker. The instructions are here. Use this paper as a shim. So I saw how he does it. He says to wrap this paper around your finger, make it a curve, and then put that in the space. I think. Sorry about that. My wife came out and didn't realize I was filming. So there is a video on how to do this, but basically you apply like 3 drops of glue to the surface. You make sure the CME is dyed, so we recommend sanding the visible surface, But at any rate, he says to use this piece of paper, but the problem I see is this piece of paper is a little bit too tall to do what I want. I'm going to cut a strip of this to use as a shim, and then we'll be right back. So we've got ourselves this little shim. What he said was to wrap it around your finger and make it curve. So we're going to get this here. We're going to get it into a curve like that. And then what you have to do is use this as a shim down in here so that you have a little bit of a spacer to hold your CME in place. So you can see right there. Now I do have some diminished muscle, or I mean motor skills right now currently because of 1, of medication, and 2, nerve damage. So we're going to use this forced. Well, maybe we won't use the forceps because I shot the CME all the way across the shop and managed to take a nick out of it. That's not such a big deal because I'm sure it's going to get nicked and dropped and banged into stuff later. So let's go ahead and get started on this. I'm going to need to clean this up. So they said absolutely to clean the compression made easy and wipe it down good just to get any oils or anything that are on it off, and then wipe and clean the actual compression lock. Then we'll get started on this. So I'm gonna let that dry for a second and come back. All right, guys, that is all dried up, and I thought I had an open tube of super glue. I wasn't gonna use this, I was gonna save it. But I thought I had an open tube of super glue, and I do not. So we're just gonna go ahead and put a couple drops, just cover that pretty much there with super glue. And we're gonna take our shim and get that in place here. Set that back down. Hopefully that doesn't dry. It's not quite as rounded as I want or need. So we're going to stick this down in here like so, and we're just going to come in with the CME, and like everything else on this channel, it's not going to be as easy as I had hoped. But I think that we have got it where we want it. We have got a little gap in there. So our little quick test is going to be, does it still work? Do we have our little gap? And yes, we do. So now the thing about this is I did not get this where I want this. So I'm going to have to take this off and do it again. So we're going to try this again. I've still got the paper wrapped here. We're going to put a couple more drops. Ooh, that's probably more than enough. Let's get some of this absorbed here. So Got a little bit of super glue on there. Now we're gonna get this where we want it. I get this piece of paper down here to act as a shim. And then where I come in from the top like this, stick that CME down in there. Make sure we've got it where we want it, which is all the way over on the lock bar like we had it. I pulled that piece of paper out. We got free flow in there. So now that's basically it. That CME is on there. It's on the lock bar. It's where I want it. It's nice and even, and it's in the position I want, and it's not catching. So that time we wound up with it just the way we want. So you can see we've got that little itty bitty gap in there. So now we have to let this dry for 8 to 10 hours, which means you can't carry this knife for the rest of the evening. So you can see now I've got it centered on there the way I want. That actually makes that so much easier. Man, that is a lot better. That is a lot better way to deploy that. And like he said, if you're left-handed, now you can definitely operate that lefty. So I will keep you guys in a loop of how I feel about this. I think it's a really good thing. I've wanted to try a compression lock with this on it before, and just never had a knife to do it with because I didn't own one. So there you go, guys. CME by OCD4EDC. Go shop on their website. They've got knives. They've got a bunch of stuff for sale on there. It's a full kit. Comes with everything you need, and now I've got this compression lock that is definitely going to be easier to use. Before it was really kind of uncomfortable to deploy. I mean, I can't get on there the way I want. It was kind of difficult to release that lock because it's such a sharp point. So now that's way easier. All right, guys, keep you in the loop on how I feel about it, and I'll see you in the next video.